أرواحنا في. Second one is قال عليه السلام أزر بنفسه من استشعر التمع ورضي بالذل من كشف عن ضره وهاند عليه نفسه من أمر عليها لسانه. This is the second sayings of Amir al-Mu'mineen. So if one of the brothers please can share the hadith with others, it's good, because maybe some of the brothers or sisters, they need to recite it. So, and about the translation, any other brothers except brother Shafiq is ready, please read the translation. Brother Abbas, Said Muhammad, Javid, others.
Translation.
Yes, if you can read it.
It's in the chat. You can read it from the chat.
Yes.
Whoever adopts greed as a habit devalues himself. Whoever discloses his hardship agrees to be humiliated, and whoever allows his tongue to overpower his soul debases the soul.
Very good. So about the, it has 3 parts, and we have to talk about every part separated. First part, أزر بنفسه من استشعر الطمع. So we have some words that we need to talk about them. First one, azara. Azara is a verb. It means disgrace, disgrace, or make humiliate yourself. So this is the first word. Another one, استشعر. استشعر, it's exactly the root of استشعر is a شعر, and from the شعار. So what's the meaning of sha'ar? Sha'ar means underwear. The clothes that you're wearing under your other clothes. It calls sha'ar. Why exactly Amir al-Mu'mineen says istash'ara? What's the relationship between the tama'? Because at first I have to say the meaning of tama'. Tama' means wishing something that is out of your control, that is out of your access. So wishing that thing, we call it in English maybe a greed. Greed, but it's something, it's out of your control or access. So what's the relationship between tama', I mean the greed, and being disgraced? And why Amir al-Mu'mineen says under, is using from the istash'ara, I mean the underwear. What's the meaning of it exactly? Amir al-Mu'mineen says istash'ara. If you are, maybe choosing greed or being greedy as a one habit, you will disgrace yourself. And it means, what's the meaning of habit here? Because Amir al-Mu'mineen says istash'ara. It means if you make it close, exactly like your underwear. Imagine underwear, it's close to your skin, even it doesn't have a space. So when you're close or make close, greed to your own, to your soul, to your spirituality and your morality. So as a result, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, you will be disgraced, or maybe you will face the humiliation. So, but the greed, at first we have to talk about the greed. After talking about the meanings of the words, greed it has two types. We have 2 types of the greed. First one is rejected and condemned, we can say. And second one, it's it's suggested and recommended. So first one itself has 2 branches. First branch, it's hidden, and another one, it's obvious. So I want to clarify again. So we have 2 types of the greed. First one, it's rejected and condemned. And second one is recommended. So about the first one, at first I want to talk. This hadith is talking about this one, about the tama', about the greed that is rejected, that is condemned. So, and it has itself two branches, hidden and obvious. Sometimes I'm greedy, but some other people, they don't know I'm greedy. Me, myself, I know myself better than others. So I'm sure that I'm greedy. Sometimes I'm wishing something that is more than my need, that is out of my excess. So I'm greedy, not ambitious. Yeah, I said we've talked in Ramadan about the difference between ambitious and the greedy, greedy, because ambitious is recommended. If you remember in Ramadan, we said ambitious, it's a habit. Sometimes it's recommended also, and sometimes it's so about the material, about this life. When you're ambitious, so it's not something we can say it's so recommended or rejected. It's kind of so, but it depends. If you have a plan, yeah, it's good, because Mu'min need a plan for his life. Yeah, it's recommended. And being ambitious about the afterlife and about the spiritual matters, absolutely it's recommended. But being greedy, no. If it's about this life, is not suggested. Is not suggested, but even it's rejected and condemned. And here that we say we have two branches. First one is hidden. Yeah, hidden. In the time of being hidden, somebody else doesn't know about your, greed, that you are a greedy person. The second type that is obvious, it's exactly the things that Amir al-Mu'minin is talking about it. When you're, greed, it's so obvious and everybody knows that you are a greedy person. In this case, it's so near to be humiliated in the eyes of the human beings. Because in this case, every action that you're doing in the eyes of others, and in the opinion of other brothers and sisters, it's a fake, it's not real. As an example, when you're smiling to somebody and that person knows that you are greedy, says to himself or herself, oh, I know. He or she wants to maybe ask me something right now, smiling for that reason exactly. Or when you're, encouraging someone, that person says, oh, I know, this person again wants to ask me another things. When you're borrowing someone, he or she says, oh, I'm sure that maybe after that wants to lend for me something else. Or I don't know, maybe when you're helping someone, in every occasion, everything that you are doing, every action that you are expressing from yourself, all of the persons are around you and they know you, they believe and they are sure that those are fake, even if they are not fake and they are real. So when your greed is so obvious, this is the bad result it has. أزرى بنفسه من استشعر الدمع. Imam says, he who is greedy is disgraced. This is the meaning of this one. But about the second type, because I said we have two types of greed. This hadith is about this first one. And the second one, it's the recommended one. It's exactly that we talked about it in Ramadan also. Being greedy or ambitious, I can say better, about the spiritual matters, it's a recommended things. If you're asking something out of your control and something that you don't have, it's recommended things. If I want to say one example through the hadith, I can mention one hadith that we have. Let me a moment. Exactly. We have this is from the verses of Quran. Yeah, not hadith. Surah Shu'ara, verse 51. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إنا نطمع أن يغفر لنا ربنا خطايانا أن كنا أول المؤمنين. So we have the word natma'u. We have the we are greedy about what? We are greedy about the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So being greedy in this case is recommended. Because we know we are not eligible, we are not qualified that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us, but we are greedy about it. And we are asking Allah subhanahu for something that we are not qualified for that. So this is recommended things. Or we have exactly like this context, in another verses in the Quran, as an example, وَالَّذِي أَتْمَعَ أَن يَغْفَرَ لِي خَطِيئَتِي يَوْمَ الدِّينِ. And this is exactly about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is also fantastic because it's a relationship between us and Allah. In this verse says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even He Himself is greedy to forgive us. It's really fantastic. We are doing something wrong. We are disorder. But in this case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even it's enthusiastic, it's greedy to help us, to forgive us. So this is about the first part of this hadith. And second part says وَرَضِيَ بِالذُّلِّ مَنْ كَشَفَ عَنْ ضُرِّهِ. The translation is, he who discloses his hardship will always be humiliated. This hadith is talking about the problems that you have in your life, the hardship that you have. All of us, we have in our lives some hardship, some difficulties, and some problems. Amir al-Mu'minin says, when you have a hardship, don't talk about it with others. If you want to have the tawakkul, if you want to have the rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so try to don't talk about every problems that you have with the others. One of the bad habit that we have many times when problems is happening in our life, immediately we're talking with all of our family members or friends and everything else and everybody. So this is not something recommended, and it's rejected because we need a patience. We need to endure something, and in this case, we can say we have taqwa. We don't do something for others. We are doing everything for only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not full of riyah. If we want to be free of riyah, we need to try to do the things only without maybe talking with others about them. So, but it has some exception. An exception is here, exactly about your disease. In our hadith, even in Nahj al-Balagha that we have, Amir al-Mu'minin says, when you have a disease, don't talk about your disease at least about 3 days. After 3 days, you can talk about your disease. Because, in this case, we want to increase the rank of our patience. We want to be a patient. So when we don't talk about some secrets, some problems that we have in our life, our patience will increase the rank of that. So, but it has exception. When we are, sick, we shouldn't talk with doctors. No, we need to talk with doctors. But about the problems, maybe we shouldn't talk with others. But it has exception. The consoler is exception. When you want to consult with somebody else that is full of knowledge and can help you, in this case, you can talk. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't like and doesn't like to see the mu'minin, to see Muslims in humiliation. He likes to see all of them, in a high rank of the attention. So in this case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, try to be proud in a positive meaning. In a positive meaning, I mean, because we have in Quran also that says, لَيْسَ لِلْمُسْلِمِينَ لَيْسَ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَلَى الْمُسْلِمِينَ سَبِيلًا. There is no power for non-believers, for all idol worshippers upon the Muslims, because you have to save and keep yourself confident. You are to rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you shouldn't be humiliated in the eyes of your enemy, in the eyes of others. Even in the eyes of the mu'mineen, we shouldn't be humiliated. But only you can disgrace yourself in a maybe eye of one consulter, because that person can help you. In this case, it has a benefit for you. Maybe after that, your problems will solve. So as an example, when you have problems in your family members, maybe with your spouse, with your maybe parents, or somebody else and your relatives. So talking about that one with somebody else, it causes your humiliation. But when you're talking about it to solve your problem, it has a benefit for you, and in this case, it's recommended. So, and this is the second part of this. وَرَضِيَ بِالظُّلْمِ مَنْ كَشَفَ عَنْ ضُرِّهِ. You will be satisfied, or we can say you have a satisfaction when you're talking about your hardship with others. If you talk about your hardship with others, you shouldn't, maybe growling after that. Why this secret maybe spread between all of the others? We have one hadith that says, when you say your secret with someone else, you spread it, because after that you can control it. So, and another one, last part, وَهَانَدَ عَلَيْهِ نَفْسُهُ مَنْ أَمَّرَ عَلَيْهَا لِسَانَهُ. And this part says, he who has no, control over his tongue will often have to face discomfort. وَهَانَدَ عَلَيْهِ نَفْسُهُ مَنْ أَمَّرَ عَلَيْهَا لِسَانَهُ. Amara means to let someone to order, to let someone to govern. So if you let your tongue to govern on you, to order you, in this case, you will not maybe see the comfort day, the comfort life, because sometimes your tongue is saying something that after that, if you're regretful even, you can't make up, and you can't maybe do something after that. So this is also, I think it's clear, and maybe we don't need to talk more about it. So till now, if you have any question about these three parts, you can ask your question.
Is there other, if we talk about our hardship with anyone, it will be effect in our life?
It has
Like
some effect.
Yes.
Yes, complete.
It will affect in our like hardship period of time.
You want to say, when we're talking about our hardship with others and we're sharing that one, it has bad effect on our life or not? Yeah.
Yes.
So absolutely, Amir al-Mu'minin is talking about this one. أزرى بنفسه من excuse me ورضي بالذل من كشف عن ضره. Because when you're talking about your hardship, after that, you are humiliate yourself. What's the exactly relationship between these are? When I'm talking about that, maybe as an example, I have one friend. I'm talking about my hardship with that person. One day I say, I don't know what happened in my life. Unfortunately, I don't have enough money to spend for my family members. So I have some problems. I'm talking about argument between me and my parents. Other day, I'm talking about maybe the problem that I had in my occupation or my job. Maybe in the other days, I'm talking about some spiritual problems that I have in my life, or maybe talking about that I don't have, really enough time for worshiping or talking with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After some days, after some months, talking like this, our friend says, oh, he has lots of, or she has lots of problems in his life, is not a suitable friend, or that person cannot control his life or her life, so I can't make it as a good friend. So and after that, maybe we don't have that position and status in the eyes of our close friends or family members. And Amir al-Mu'minin says exactly, don't humiliate and disgrace yourself by talking about your hardship with others. It's it's routine. Maybe sometimes when I'm talking with my parents about some hardships, and I'm sure they can help me, they can suggest me a way. Yeah, it's good. I said, the consulter, it shouldn't be a specific person. Yeah, sometimes my parents, they can help me. Sometimes maybe my friend that is into business can help me about my business. Yeah, it's good. We can talk. But it depends on a person, and it depends on the subject that we want to talk about it. Even with your close friend, even with your parents, you shouldn't talk about everything. Yes, some of the subjects, they are related and you can talk about them. So this is really important. And absolutely, absolutely. Right now, most of you are, single, but after your marriage, one of the things that really it's really important, and please pay attention more about it, inshallah, maybe a few years later that you will get married. Pay attention about this one. Talking about your problems and hardship that you have in your life. Excuse me, brother, could you turn it? Thank you. So talking about the hardship that you have in your life with your wife, talking about it and sharing about it, with your mom or dad, it caused lots of problem in your life. Because after that, you disgrace your wife and eyes of your parents. You will disgrace even yourself in the eyes of your parents. They say, oh, our daughter-in-law has some problems and is not a good daughter-in-law. And also they say our son or maybe our child, it doesn't have the ability to control and organize his life. So these are really important. So I want to say, I'm so sorry if I say some examples for men, because most of the guys that they are in this group, most of them are brothers. So I try to say most of the examples, with the men. And another things, if after your marriage, as an example, when you're talking about the problems that you have with maybe parents, or the problems that your parents they have together. If you're talking about them and sharing them with your wife, it will cause lots of problem. So after that, your wife doesn't have the good relationship with your parents. Or maybe I don't know, if you're about talking about the problems that your relatives they have, all of them, yeah. Try to learn, try to maybe practice to don't talk about every hardship that you have with everybody. No, someone that can help you, it's good. And it depends. That consultant, and be a person that is full of experience, full of knowledge, and that can help you on that topic and subject. So another question, if you have. Brother Abbas, that was okay? Answer. Yes. Other question? So only I want to explain more about the last part. Last part that we said, man amara وهانت عليه نفسه من أمر عليها لسانه, who lets to his tongue or her tongue to govern. After that, he has, or that person has maybe humiliation, or maybe we can say, according to the translation, discomfort, and face discomfort in his life. So we have in our hadith silence and talking, and both of them sometimes are rejected and sometimes are recommended. Sometimes we have to be silent, sometimes we have to talk about something. As an example, exactly about what thing happened in America these days, about the racism and being against the black person. So we shouldn't be silent, we have to talk. Maybe we don't talk with our tongue, we have to talk through the media and the social media, but we shouldn't be silent. And another one, sometimes maybe we have to be silent. As an example, if somebody asking you something that you don't know, you have to say, according to a hadith, La adri, I don't know. I don't know. I have to be silent. And some other cases that we need to be silent. So we have silent and talking, both of them recommended and rejected. So that's all about the second hadith and second one. And third one, maybe it takes more, time and for this session. Maybe. So Ryan, you can talk and you can share your opinion about at first your question about this hadith or last hadith that we have, and after that you can share your ideas for our session. Maybe some expectation that you have from this session, or you can share it with others, or maybe some criticism, everything that you think it will be, if it will be, maybe our session will be better or okay. Please say.
Said, now one question.
Yeah. Yes.
With regards to the third part of this saying by Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, the overpowering of the tongue on the soul, which results to debasing it, does does it really mean that maybe perhaps when we go loose with our tongue, there's no control over the tongue, which might then bring the debasing effect to the soul? Or is it maybe commenting on certain topics that you are not qualified in, or in that context? How does the effect of debasing happen?
You know, we have one hadith that maybe it can be the answer of your question. One hadith says, every day in the morning, that all of the parts and members of our body asking one question. What's that question? They're asking from our tongue and ask that, ask it, are you okay or not? You have done since yesterday or not? If you're okay, all of us, we are okay. If you're not, we're not. So it means the importance and the rank of the tongue. And in a hadith, we have at least 40 deadly sins. I mean, the kabira sins for tongue. So all of them means that in our tongue, it's an important part of our body. And exactly as I remember, I forgot that who was that person. Was one of the scholars or prophets? I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is a story about one of the scholars, or it's about one prophet, but it's a real story that says, and ask somebody from that person or that prophet to bring the best and worst part of one sheep. Yes, and that person or that prophet brought a tongue and said, this can be a best and the worst part. Yeah, when talking or when talking in the best way, it can be a best one, and when it is doing and committing sins, is the worst one. So all of them are about the importance of the tongue. So absolutely, in this case, it's the relationship between our soul and our nafs between the tongue is so clear. So that was okay for your question? So if until you're thinking about your question, I want to say another hadith about the tama' that I said. Tama' has one positive meaning, and positive meaning of tama' the spiritual matters, asking something that's out of your control. That is really nice. That Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, in dua, إذا رأيت مولاي ذنوبي فزعت وإذا رأيت كرمك تمعت. When Imam says, when I was observing my mistakes, my sins, I suddenly I scared, and I said, maybe I want to complete it. I said to myself that I can do anything because I don't have any plan for escaping from my sins. But when I saw your karam, your maghfirah, your mercy, tami'atu, I became greedy to mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is another hadith that shows the meaning tama'. So any other questions? No question? Thank you. I think because if you want to talk about the third one, it takes more than 1 hour, more than our time. It takes time. So it's better if we postpone the third one to next session, inshallah. It will be better. Yeah, that's okay. Everything is good. If you have any criticism or anything, please talk. You know, because I want to understand that you're, you know, live, and alhamdulillah, inshallah, you're listening me. So please be active listener, yeah. If you don't ask me question, sometimes you force me to me myself ask you a question. So what's the relationship? Because I said in the first part, Imam says, أَذْرَى بِنَفْسِهِ مَنْ اسْتَشْعَرَ الطَّمَعَ. And I said, استشعر is from sha'ar. Sha'ar means underwear. What's the relationship of the underwear to this phrase, to this, hadith? Why Imam says underwear? You know, what's exactly the relationship between underwear, tama', I mean greedy, and also humiliation, I mean the zalla. So answer, yeah, brother Shafiq is ready. The other brothers or sisters, who's ready? And sisters, if we have right now sisters in our group, sisters, you know, doesn't have a problem if they are, you know, want to say their answers through the voices. You know, it doesn't have problem. No one? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Brother Shafiq, please.
Naam, Sayyidina. The relationship between greed and as a habit, right? Which is basically
yes.
the closeness, the closer or more habitual we are to become the disgraceful part, the negative part of greed, then it hastens to be disgraced or debased upon oneself as a negative context.
Yes, exaggerate that. And when the greedy is so close to your own, to your soul, Imam wants to exaggerate and wants to say this is so close and it's a real habit. When it's, you know, a habit for you and you're doing in every action, so it will be like sha'ar, it will be like your underwear that is so close to your skin. So thank you for participation, all of the brothers and sisters. Inshallah, we will meet each other next week. And during the week, if you have any question about Nahj al-Balagha, about these